And welcome to the January the 1st meeting of the year. I want to welcome everyone and wish that everyone had a nice holiday season and is safe with so many things going on in New York City. We have a presentation by Mr. Paul Martinez from Wavecrest Management. Paul, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
As ready as you're going to get, right?
Yeah, as ready as I'm gonna get. Yeah.
The floor is yours. You're on.
So last month, I'm sorry I was not at the meeting. I thought it was on a Wednesday. I kind of skimmed through my emails and I thought we were gonna be on Wednesday and it was on a Tuesday. There was a presentation for 980 Westchester Apartments, which is like a 119 newly constructed units at 980 Westchester Avenue. I just want to bring you up to date on that. We are not going to manage that property. So what we're actually doing is the rent ups. So it's not
Paul,
a
they made that
building.
clear to us, Paul. All you were doing was the rent up. The dope fund is managing it, but you
correct. All we're doing is the rent up.
Yes.
So there's a lot of companies a lot of developers tend to come to Wavecrest because we have a big rental department that we have about 40 people that will do new lease ups and does the lottery. We do it in our office with HPD there and stuff like that. So it's not that we're trying to take over the Bronx, but we're pretty big that they use us. So for this building,
Mr. Martinez, can I just say one thing? I don't mean to interrupt, but I received a couple of phone calls in reference to the advertisement on Housing Connect, and the people were concerned and they really didn't want to apply because it said that Wavecrest was the management. I don't know if it's that correct. I didn't get a chance to log in and see for myself, but I did get a couple of calls about it. They were asking me, and I told them no, that you guys are just doing the application process.
We're just doing the application process. We're not going to manage this property.
It's not clear on Housing Connect though.
I'll find out from Christina Harsh in my office. She did send me the paperwork that basically says affordable renting for rent. And I'm trying to see right now if it says anything about Wavecrest on it.
Yes, it does.
It does say yes. To basically send all your applications to like our office.
Right, basically. But people think that means that you guys are going to manage it.
No, we're not managing. I'll tell you that right now. It's just
care of Wavecrest management. We had this discussion in a meeting last month. However, what people perceive is different from what I know.
Okay, I can speak to Christina tomorrow morning and let her know that.
Yeah.
I'll speak to Susan as well.
Yeah, maybe if you could put something that says Wavecrest is not managing the buildings, that might help because I've got several calls in reference to that.
Okay.
Thank you.
That won't be a problem. That will not be a problem.
Sorry to interject.
Yes?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No problem. And then as per our other buildings, Wavecrest did purchase 1018, which is the professional building, which is across the street from Community Board 2 from the office. We've been doing work in the building. I believe we purchased it in late August, beginning of September. We've been doing everything we can to try to make this building back to what it used to be.
And a lot of the tenants are very happy with that.
Yeah, we're still doing more work to it. We're trying to clean up the walls where it used to be marble. They had painted all over this, and we're scraping them off. And if you look at the building, if anyone ever wants to just come by and look, we just put a new entrance to the building. We're gonna do new mailboxes. We're gonna do new elevators. We put sensors in every single apartment just to check on the heating. Reliant is actually going to be at this building. I'm supposed to meet with Reliant. We already have a contract. They're supposed to give us a date when they're going to be taking over the security part of it, like the cameras and stuff.
The security. Okay.
Right, and that'll be connected with the 41st precinct.
Right, because I see okay, because we had a meeting with them when we had the management meetings with all the management companies. Are they doing well in your buildings?
Reliant, yes.
Okay.
I mean, they monitor our systems. They let us know who's doing lease violations, if people are leaving garbage, if people are hanging out on the staircase.
Yeah, that's the kind of business we need.
Yeah, they send us pictures so that we could do the lease violations and send the pictures out to people. So at least they know that, yeah, we caught you, basically. Can you please stop doing it, you know?
Okay, thank you.
So I'm gonna jump over from 1018, which, you know, we're still doing work here. I have an office at the site, and I'm probably here maybe 3 times a week now, just until we get everything situated and everything ready and done.
Okay.
I still have Cynthia. You had a question? I see a.
Yeah, well, it's just a general question. So, what qualifies a building to get security? Like, is it the amount of units or just the area they in?
It's the owner, whoever
Yeah.
the owner is. It's basically whoever the owner is. Like we, as Wavecrest Management, try. Um, Security is hard to get because just having a security guard or having cameras. We tend to put cameras everywhere. It's better visual wise, documentation wise. It's just so much better. Security guards, I think they get paid on the lower end, so they're not really stopping anybody from doing anything. And it's their word against whoever's word. So we tend to do more with cameras. That's so that was jumping into the next building where one of my other buildings is 941 Hoe Avenue, which has always been our hotspot. We are deactivating the fob systems that was there. We're going to put a new fob system in, so everybody's going to get new fob keys. So anyone who had fob keys before that probably shouldn't be going into the building, that's going to be deactivated because it's all new fob system going in.
What building is this for?
I'm sorry?
941 Hoe Avenue?
Hoe Avenue, the big building on Hoe Ave.
Yeah.
We did get Reliant into that building. So the cameras are being monitored by Reliant and by the 41st Precinct. I know that Community Board 2 is favorite of Reliant because they basically, you know, deal with the 41st Precinct. They show all our videos. They're doing everything. That's a tougher building, I think, our whole portfolio because it's such a big building and you can get in through 2 entrances and it's crazy.
So they accessible. Both buildings are accessible.
Kind of, yes. You could get in, yes. It's these long hallways, but we did add more cameras. We did before we just had regular cameras and we could view the cameras in our office, or in the Hoe Avenue office, so it wasn't really being monitored. When there was an incident, we could look at it, we could go back to it and see what happened. But now we actually hired Reliant to basically monitor the system and to let us know what's going on a regular basis. So it's being monitored. My other buildings in this area, I would say like Kelly. Oh, we also purchased one more building, 923 Kelly Street. It's a small building, maybe about 25 units. It's not that big. We started doing the same thing where we did at 1018, where we painted the building, we're fixing it. Nothing really going on at that site. Kelly, 967 Kelly we have, which is a big building also. We don't really have too much things going. That building turned around for us, which is pretty good. We're still having a lot of activity on the outside of the building. So I'm gonna have to speak to the 41st Precinct about that.
That's between what, Westchester and 163rd, right?
Yes.
Between Westchester and Kelly. It's on that corner over there.
Yeah, 163rd.
Yeah.
Is that the building with the parking lot underneath?
Yes.
Okay.
We actually changed the super there a couple of years ago, and it's gotten a lot better.
Okay.
I just walked through there. You know, you should speak to your supers because you have those poles that come up right in front of the building, and
Right.
they put the garbage right there, so I could walk by it. But if there's like a wheelchair person, like if someone on a wheelchair, they wouldn't be able to get by. They should push it further down to the street.
Okay. I'll speak to Terrence. Terrence is the manager there.
It was very neat, like it was clean, but it was too. Someone with a wheelchair would not have access.
Okay. I'll definitely do that. I'm just trying to see which other buildings I have in your area. 830 Fox, which we manage. There's a couple of other sites that we do back office for. So I know
That's
WavePress's name is all over the place, but there's some buildings that, like Banana Kelly, we don't manage Banana Kelly. We only do their paperwork for them. So they manage their properties themselves.
Since
So we're
when?
not involved in managing or doing anything with their sites, but we do their back office. We send out their rent bills. If there's any calls from tenants, we'll take the calls, we'll make the work tickets, and then we just forward it to them so they could do the work and they manage their own properties.
Paul, since when did that take effect?
That took effect, I would say, a couple of years ago. We haven't.
Oh well, that's I'm telling you, they say that WavePress is a management company for I know I live in 1244 for my building, and anytime
Not
I
at
have
all. We don't manage manage the building. We do back office for them.
What is back office? Let's clarify.
Back office is like we get all their bills. We'll send them an email saying, look, these are your bills. Do you want us to pay them? We send out the rent bills for them, but we don't actually go into any of their sites. Like a WavePress employee does not, like none of my managers that work for me go into their buildings to do anything.
Oh, okay, because that's not very clear. That's not very clear as a tenant of Banana Kelly, and I was always told that WavePress was the management. That's how we established the relationship pretty much with Community Board 2 because of the poor management that WavePress was exhibiting in my building. And so our relationship has gotten stronger, things has gotten better. But I was always under the impression that WavePress was the management.
We used to manage their properties before. We did manage them. I was one of the heads that managed their properties. I inspected your apartment at one point. I had managers like Jasenia or
yes.
You know, I had a couple of other managers that worked for me that actually managed those properties. But at one point, Banana Kelly wanted to manage their own properties, but we did their back office so that it made it a little simpler for them. They could just do the hands-on of the buildings.
Okay.
While we did all their paperwork for them.
Okay, thank you. I will let my neighbors know.
Yeah, WavePress will send them their rent bills and stuff like that. We get their rents, but everything is basically managed through that office that they have on Prospect. They have their own manager. I don't even know who their manager is, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, but why wasn't the tenants notified in reference to that? Because that's another avenue of poor management, if you ask me.
I mean, I could speak to Susan about it tomorrow, and
yeah, because we should have been notified.
I could reach out to Hope about that.
Oh, that's another story. Okay. All right. Well, whatever could be done, I would appreciate it because I'm telling you, the tenants in 1244, 1246 ACFC are under the impression that WavePress manages the building still to this day.
I'll speak to Susan about that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Paul.
Yes.
Paul, this is Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
Question. How can we get a listing of the buildings that belong to other management companies, but that you're doing the back office on in our district?
Oh, that's not a problem. I could get you that tomorrow. I'll speak to Susan.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we've done that for a couple of sites. There's a lot of non-for-profits that like to manage their own buildings. We help out. We tend to manage their properties, and then when they can do it themselves, we make deals with them where we'll do all their paperwork for them, and they'll self-manage. MBD, which is not part of your property, we're doing that with them. We've managed them for a couple of years now, but now they're wanting to like manage their own properties. But we're doing their back office for them because they like to use like our attorneys. It's at a cheaper price, you know. We have in-house attorneys. We do the renting of the apartments. We do stuff. It's all catered to what they want us to do for them. But I can get you a list of community 2 board buildings that we manage, and anything that is back office for us.
All right, thank you.
No problem. I really don't have too many more buildings in this area, but I've spoken to all my managers, and we're not having any real problems at any of our sites. But if community board ever has any problem, I've told Cynthia or I've told Ralph, anyone, Bobby, if you want, just call me up. My cell phone's on 24 hours, and I'll look into anything.
I have a question for you, Paul.
Yes.
So my building, 920.
Yes.
You manage or you back paper?
We manage that. That is Kevin Sumter is the manager there. It's under Charles Lyons, who's his superior. I don't manage it.
I know, but just.
But I
So
yeah, it's under Wavecrest. Yes.
This is the issue now. So the commercial store that was there before, they're not there. So
Okay.
it's vacant. So when it comes, you have to dodge walking on dog poop on this block. Like you literally have to cross the street because you can't even walk. So they clean the front of Westchester, but the Interval side, where the commercial front is,
Yes.
it doesn't get clean. So today I saw they were doing the salt today. They were throwing the salt, but there's nothing but dog poop on there.
Okay.
On the sidewalk.
I'll speak to Kevin tomorrow morning. I don't know who the superintendent of your building is, but for right now, if there's no one at that storefront, then we should be cleaning it no matter what.
Okay.
The superintendent should be cleaning. The porter should be cleaning it. Normally, when we have storefronts, we write up these leases where they're responsible for the front of their.
No, when they were there, it was not a problem.
Right. But now they're not there. I'll speak to Kevin tonight.
They forget they have to clean the side of the building.
I'll speak to Kevin tonight, and I'll make sure that it's always clean.
Thank you.
No problem.
Paul, in the
Yes.
chat, Charlie Samboy made a good suggestion of maybe sending a letter to each tenant distinguishing what Wavecrest would do, and an example would be Banana Kelly.
Yes.
That they know who to contact and so forth.
We're talking about the tenants that are back office for us.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like
because
Paul had an issue or
yeah,
put up something as far as who manages, who does what. So there's a lot of confusion there. So that
right,
there be people that know that what your role is
right.
not to
Very important.
because you're not the manager. Things along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah, and another thing, I know a lot of the tenants in my building was having an issue with one of the staff at Wavecrest, and we put it in writing and requested that he have no contact with any of the tenants in my building because he was very nasty.
Who was it? I'm sorry.
Mike.
Oh, Mike Gazelle.
Yes.
The fact that you know who it is.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the legal department. He's
Yeah,
part of our legal department.
Yeah, well, every time a tenant from 1244, 1246 calls that office, if he answers the legal department, he automatically gives it to either Damaris or one of the other young ladies. Yeah, which is a good thing.
Paul Coverdale just left a message about poop in the neighborhood. Paul, that's more of an enforcement issue that goes through the 41st precinct. They are aware of it. And I would suggest a follow-up with a precinct council meeting is tomorrow.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. And that's something that you can bring up there as a question.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, Paul, I remember a couple of years back, we was having this issue with the dog poop in our district. And it was when Marcos Crespo was the assemblyman, and his office was able to give us some signs that we could put in, in front of, like where the trees was, to say pick up behind your dog, and that, believe it or not, it helped. It helped somewhat, but it didn't resolve it, but it did help a lot. And people were saying that they want to take pictures if you don't pick up your dog poop. So that it deterred it a lot. So maybe if we could revisit that again, that might be a suggestion.
Not a problem.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up as well. So perfect.
I mean, I'll definitely reach out to the precinct. I'll see if I can make the meeting tomorrow. I don't know if I can because I do have another meeting. But I would like to get more involved with the 41st precinct. I already spoke to some of my other managers to do the same thing. But believe me, I'll take any suggestions you guys give me, and we will definitely. But we're definitely going to clean up
Okay.
any property that
I
we
think
have.
just a note of consistency would be helpful.
Okay.
Because we requested that the staff from Waste Crespi attend the housing meetings, and you're currently a member. However, I think they manage you back office work. Banana Kelly has what, 32 buildings in our district, and you're doing a lot of back order work. And I'm telling you, I'm sure that most of the tenants in those buildings feel that you guys are still managing.
Okay.
So the suggestion that Charlie made would be totally
Yeah,
wonderful.
I no, I agree.
Okay. Thank you. Are you done? That's pretty much right.
Yeah, I think Mr. Muniz has a question.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's regarding the poop issue. That should be actually handled by sanitation officers.
Yeah,
They're
sanitation
basically the ones that
enforcement.
do that. And I actually I've had those problems before. I never see them issue those summonses other
Right,
than to the
exactly.
You
homeowners.
know what it is?
That was a problem. That's a problem we were having. We never saw sanitation issue them.
It has
So
to be
Right.
sanitation enforcement. And I don't know
right.
if it was with this route or the other route, but we had brought this up at one of the DSC meetings. And they have to physically be
Yes.
there to
See,
write
right.
out the summons.
Seen
So
it
if they
Right.
recent-
don't see it, they
Right.
can't take your word for it. You
Right.
understand?
Right.
So that's the only problem when it comes to sanitation enforcement. Now, maybe we can ask Ralph if a photo is it's valid.
No, because
Sufficient.
that's what they
Or
were
if they
doing.
change it now.
It's not. They have to physically be present.
Be there.
Okay,
We
so
brought
then
this
yeah.
up at my DSC. Sanitation enforcement
Okay.
really does. That's more. The police will tell you themselves. It is their issue, and they have to physically be present in order to issue summons.
Right.
That's the only way. And as far as anything else with sanitation, that's technically it's on the sidewalk. It's someone's property. It'll be that property
Mm-mm.
responsibility to clean it
To
up.
clean it up, right?
Right.
Yes. So it's
So-
more of an NYPD is more of an NYPD enforcement, and it's really hard for them. Our precinct, I know they're short staffed, and they have to physically be present while the dog is pooping, and then they can issue the dog owner, whoever's walking the dog, a summons.
Yeah, it's kind of it's terrible. It's kind of a common courtesy issue. Like you would expect people to pick up their own. But as a homeowner, I do understand. I've gotten tickets definitely from the sanitation department, so I know that they're around and they're willing to write tickets. And certainly it's not going to be a winter thing, but maybe sometime in the spring we could talk to them or the NYPD or whoever needs to be there to maybe just even have them positioned at certain hotspots at certain times of the day. And then that could just at least lead to being a deterrent.
It's
And
not a community board issue, but the tickets that you receive is because the poop is there. It ain't that you're walking your dog and allowing the poop to happen and
Right.
scooping it up. So sanitation is issuing you tickets for having a dirty sidewalk. That's what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah,
but
blaming the
it's,
homeowner.
it's
Back-
more of an enforcement issue, and that's what NYPD. This is, I had NYPD and I had sanitation and I had sanitation enforcement. A meeting regarding poop
Yeah.
because it's
Now,
back.
Ralph, just a
So
quick question: Will you guys be having another meeting like that? Just because as owners of these buildings, and like this new era with all these cameras, if we have tenants that we like our outside cameras catch them or catch their dogs and it's on video, will that be sufficient enough to warrant a violation to that tenant?
No.
Especially if it's one of our tenants, and we can say, look, this is on video. This is where they live. Can you give them a ticket?
No.
I'm going to say no. I honestly don't know, but that is more of a police question, and I will suggest that you bring it up at the precinct council meeting
Okay.
When the command, whoever's giving their report, not when the president or vice president or elected officials. It'd be good to have elected officials there to hear these questions, but this should be directed at NYPD itself.
Gotcha.
And that's a good suggestion too, though, because Paul, think about it. If you're the management company, you guys can actually notify your own tenants to say, hey, we know that you are not curbing your dogs.
Right.
And then, maybe we can guilt them into at least doing it. Like, I don't want, there's no reason, I don't want to keep fining people. There's no reason to, to
Right.
do that. Really, we just want there to be a common courtesy and understanding. And I think it does start with, like someone said, having more signs. There definitely needs to be more signs. And even just making sure that those baggy things are full, right? That's it. You can start there and then kind of move on to other ways.
Yeah.
Ralph, maybe what I think we should do is set up a meeting with PD and sanitation and discuss this
Yes.
and set up with some of the homeowners like Paul and management companies and we could talk about it because it's happening all over the district, so we should be on top of it a lot.
It's happening everywhere.
No, I know that.
All over the
I
city.
just brought this up at my GSC meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, we can. I will first speak with the captain one-on-one, and
Yeah.
then if it warrants to have a meeting, of course I'll set it up. But I already know what this is something that was just recently discussed. I will set up the. You know what? I'll set up the meeting. I'm sorry. I'll set up the meeting, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, because if it's, I know it's happening throughout citywide, but right now we're not worried about citywide. We're worried about our district, and maybe it might be something that the captain can come up with an idea, or somebody from sanitation can come up with an idea, and we can move on it. That's not going to be much of a problem for the community.
Well, I'm just gonna let you know that I will take any advice or any help that I can get, but I will speak to my managers that manage for me in this district to make sure that their employees are cleaning the front of the buildings the right way and that there's no dog poop, anything like that.
Thank you, Paul.
No problem.
Thank you so much, Paul.
No problem.
Okay, and such a wonderful presentation. All the information was very helpful. Okay, does anyone have any old business? What would be on? No. All right, moving on. New business.
Well, Ralph had put 980 Westchester, but I think that was taken care of.
What happened?
Yeah.
Charlie just raised his hand.
Oh, I
He has
can't
his
see
hand
who's
raised.
raising hands. I'm sorry.
Charlie has his hand raised. Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie.
Let me unmute myself. Sorry. Hey guys.
How you doing?
So I found out recently that I put a link in the chat. A company by the name of Fairstead has bought a portfolio of about 48 buildings in the Bronx, including all the PRC buildings. They've been doing walkthrough to the buildings to analyze some of the maintenance and other needs. Right now they're doing the common areas, and from what I understand, they're going to be doing the individual units at some point. So I think it would be good because like in my building at 940 Tiffany, a lot of tenants are asking about when are they going to get their renewal letters for their leases and other things, and folks keep calling PRC but don't get through. So it seems like Fairstead is trying to get up to speed, and they seem to be a reputable company that's looking to do some good work here in the Bronx. But I think it would be good if the community board or the council member made some contact with them to organize some kind of conversation so that folks understand that PRC is no longer owns the building or will continue to manage them going forward.
Thanks, Charlie, for that information. I had no clue.
Charlie, I had heard that before, before the holidays. Someone had approached me and asked me the same question, and I didn't know that they had. Uh, I didn't know that PRC had sold any of the buildings or who they sold it to. But I'm glad you told us, and I think we're going to be calling them in just to see what what they're planning to do with the buildings.
Yeah, they bought. The article I put in the chat. I don't know that all. I suspect all those are not PRC. It's about 48 buildings across the entire Bronx. 2,000 units in total. But I know someone that works at Fairstead in their maintenance division. And I think he would defer any questions related to that to either their press team or their upper management or community engagement team. So I can try and find out who would be the right person to make that phone call to. But I think it would be good for the community board to understand what the long-term plans are for these buildings and how folks can get in touch with them.
You're right.
Definitely, because we did have a lot of the tenants from PRC management had a lot of issues earlier in the year throughout the summer.
But we
So
also
that
need
would be
to know if
a
they
nice
take
thing.
over all of PRC buildings.
Yeah.
What was their name again, Charlie?
Fairstead.
Fairstead.
Fairstead?
Fairstead.
Oh, Fairstead. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Charlie, for that information.
You're welcome.
Anyone has what is it, new business too?
We haven't.
We have announcements, right? Or new business?
Well, we have a little of both. It's mixed, but it's fine.
All right, you want me to go down the list now?
Go right ahead.
This is the rent up for the building 1B, 720 Tiffany, La Peninsula. So they're live. They're live also, just as well as 980 Westchester. So this is the breakdown of the brackets. I think there's 5 brackets in this one. 5 different income brackets. So this I think is next month that it's over the 60-day period. It does say it on there. Bear with me. It's somewhere on here. When it closes.
Wow.
So yeah,
that is nice.
It's February 21st, Ralph.
Thank you. So we got about 6 weeks with that one.
Those incomes are nice.
I'll send that. I'll send all of this
You're
out.
welcome.
Yeah, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. Thanks,
Charlie, no comment. Charlie, no comment with that. This is some landmarks permits people applied in our district. So these are all, technically these are just homeowners, except for the banknote. We already aware that the banknote already applied for one, and now is no longer in the file, is in the issue. So Ray, good work there. Good to see some progress happening with that. This is 980 here, so I know we went over this already. And Paul, thank you for clarifying and following up with what Paula had mentioned here. This one has 4 different income brackets. 30, 50, 60, and 70% AMI.
Nice.
Plastic straws available upon request. So, there's a whole crackdown now with these straws in the city. So we received the flyer. So it's something where we just want to make people aware about. So, in a restaurant or something and you're not getting straws or you're getting those paper straws, you could probably request for a plastic one. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Tomorrow's the 41st Precinct Council meeting starting at 6:30. We have the information here. The President of the Police Council is here. Thank you so much for joining us. We always, work hand in hand with the Precinct Council. So that's it for our announcements and new business.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Ralph, what was the number to the Precinct Council meeting tomorrow?
What do you mean the number?
He's talking about the flyer, the call-in number.
The call,
it's not a call, it's a whole code for the Zoom.
Yeah, the Zoom
We'll
number.
send you the flyer. We'll send you the flyer so you can have it, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, no one else has any questions, want anything else to say?
Well, in the chat, Cliff left something as far as wanting to know the summonses that sanitation officers can provide anyone caught violating, not the homeowners who receive it. I honestly don't know. I can request that. Um, I don't know if they'll give it to me per district if they do have it, but I'll follow up with that, Cliff. Not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you for such a great meeting.
Hold
I
on,
would like one of our
Madam Chair, I'm
members to,
sorry.
sorry?
We do have Ted Weinstein on. I don't know if Ted has
Oh.
anything he wants to say.
Hi, Ted.
No, nothing specific. No,
Ted, I do want to bring one thing up, and I know you answered it already, and I thank you for responding right away for some of these stuff, like the fire that we had today, 311 complaints about no heat, but 883-885 Bryan Avenue. I know I sent you an email about that. They want to do a senior home there, and it looks like they're using private money. If you can just flag that and keep it on your radar, if there's anything that presents itself on HPD side, I'll send you another email just to remind you.
okay.
But we reached out to the manager or the LM Corporation, LM Construction. They have not gotten back to us. We just want them to give us an update, a presentation on what they're looking to do there.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate any assistance and thank you so much, Ted, for helping me out already with everything that you've done so far.
Sure.
I wish you and the Yankees nothing but best in 2020.
Ralph, I have a question whenever you get around to it.
Okay, Charlie.
I posted in the chat. Fairstead is actually hiring for a assistant community manager. Essentially,
Okay.
this is a person that interacts with tenants and provides customer service to tenants in the buildings that they manage. So maybe that's something that we could promote in whatever channels we have. I think if we could get someone hired there that lives here, that would be awesome.
That would be great. Thank you so much. Okay, so
Charlie, if you could send that information over to Ralph, and then Ralph can blast it out to us.
yeah, I don't know if anybody has an experience. I will pass the word along though. Okay, with no further discussion, could I have one of my members?
Yeah, you have quorum.
Okay.
You got 5 out of 8, so you do have the quorum. So.
Okay, could someone please adjourn the meeting and second
Motion
it?
to adjourn.
Thank you, Charlie.
I second it.
Who's that? Paul?
Paul.
Paul, thank you also, Paul.
No
Thank
problem.
you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
was informative.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow,
Night,
we
everyone.
made a record. We doing well. We breaking history this year, guys.
Later.
Take
It
care,
is
y'all.
officially 6:38. Thank you, and everybody have a nice evening.
Good
Thank
night.
you,
Thank
Paula.
you. Bye.